Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. My name is Alana, and I am the owner of Emela Consultant, where we say that we help business owners get to their next. And today we are happy to have a guest with us. We have Tina with us today. Tina is an amazing person. We've had some time to chat about, her amazing journal that she wrote called Teach Me How to Be Happy. So Tina, can you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, where you're from.
Hi, I'm Tina, originally from Ghana, but born and raised in the UK, London to be precise. I'm a consultant, really passionate about girls and women's rights, really passionate about child protection, safeguarding. So everything I do literally revolves around that. Very passionate about Black history as well. So yeah, everything I do is about empowering, raising awareness, sharing information, educating. So that's what I do on a day-to-day basis.
Great. And as you could hear, Tina is speaking the Queen's English.
Not quite.
But we're happy to have you. Thank you so much, Tina. So Teach Me How to Be Happy. So I first came across Tina's journal on social media, and I'm like, that is an interesting title. Because sometimes, at least for me, I think of happiness as something that we automatically know how to do. You're born and you know what you enjoy, and that is really not always the case. Some of us have been through things that have us, wondering, okay, how do I get from where I am to that place of full contentment and happiness? So can you tell us, Tina, how you came about with this title of your journal?
So my background is in domestic abuse in terms of my specialist knowledge. So I was working with a young woman who had been in an abusive relationship. And during our first session, we were doing a one-to-one session. I said, I want you to get the most out of this. So I'm just not here to, educate you, empower you. I want you to tell me what you want from this. And she simply said, with so much tears in her eyes, teach me how to be happy. So that's where the inspiration came from. And I had to be honest with her. I could not teach her that. But what I could do is equip her with the knowledge, with the confidence to be able to look down on her own inspirations, her own experiences, and identify what happiness meant for her, so she can keep utilizing that to be able to go through life. So yes, everyone usually sees the title and they're like, okay, you're going to be teaching people how to be happy, but really it's about self-reflecting. It's about taking ownership of what happiness means to you. For everybody, it will be different. Yeah. So it's really defining what happiness means for you and making sure that each and every single day you're just working towards that and not allowing anybody or anyone to come into your life to destroy it. So setting boundaries, putting things in place so you can protect yourself and define and make yourself happy. So that's where the inspiration comes from.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Happiness looks differently for different people. One thing may bring me complete joy, whereas for you, you're like, no. And then, you have a background in working with individuals who have had a history of trauma. So it's like when you go through some of these things, it may be a tougher journey for you to get to that place of happiness, for sure. Yes. So when we spoke, Tina, you told me that it has been a journey for you to actually get to publishing this journal. So it's an accomplishment. How long did it take you to publish your journal?
Like over 2 years, just over 2 years.
And why is that? We're putting you on the hot seat here.
Yeah, to be honest, sometimes me just, delaying was a huge issue, but also just not organizing my time as well. Like it's been an idea that has come together, but then I didn't have a structure on how to complete it. So it's only when I actually sat down and said, right, Tina, you need to get this done, set it out. How many hours, how many days are you going to work on this? What are you going to do to be able to grow and develop it? So yeah, it's really setting a structure. So yeah, it was my fault that it was delayed. I had an illustrator who, I remember when I said, I'm definitely going to go ahead with this. And I contacted the illustrator, shared my ideas, and she was just so behind it. And literally, she had created a plan. I'm like, calm down, I haven't even started my side of stuff. But she was definitely on it and really inspired me to continue. But sometimes it's like, all right, I'll get onto this another day, but never got around to it. So yeah, setting out a timeline, setting out a structure is really important. So once I did that, it kind of worked together.
Yeah, I agree. I call myself the master of ideas. I get great ideas, but the execution you start, and then sometimes things do not always fall through. But as you said, I believe, if you have a plan together, step by step plan, set milestones that actually provide, it helps you in keeping on track and getting it completed.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yes. So can you start us off with the journey? So you got this idea that you wanted to publish a journal, and it's been, with some of the work that you have done, it motivated you to want to do that. So you got the idea. So what happened after that process?
So it was a series of experiences that I literally parked, and then it was like, okay, they all came together. So I remember the initial idea of doing something came about when I was working as an IDVA. So I was working with women who were survivors of domestic abuse. And I remember one client saying that this always keeps happening to her. She was 16 years old. She went from one relationship to another, which mirrored the same toxic traits. And she was like, how do I break out of this? And I remember her saying that, and it really resonated with me. So, I just parked that idea and I said, how could I help other women who've experienced such an experience overcome this? So that stayed with me. And then I remember working with a group of young women, and it was such a challenge because of their own experiences and also witnessing domestic abuse within their parents' relationships. Even having these conversations with them, they were quite hostile at first, because it was like, why are you bringing up things that I forgot about, or I don't want to bring about? But eventually, when we got to the end of the program, they were like, we needed this, and how can we create something that you can look at and see every day, rather than even bringing into a classroom? This is something we should be taught on a day-to-day basis. So that stuck with me as well. And then my friend gave me a Christmas present of a journal. So it was a book, it's called Slay in Your Lane, which really inspires Black women to find their dreams, their aspirations, and really just stay in their lane to be able to do what they need to do the best way they can. And then later on, they created a journal version. So my friend gave it to me, and I was just like, oh, I read the book. I love reading, but I know that everyone doesn't like reading. Sometimes it's not digestible. Sometimes big words and, big loads of pages kind of puts people off. So they created a book, and then they created a journal, which was simple, couple of pages, had big black and white illustrations. And I was just like, oh, I like this concept, because anybody will be able to engage in it. There's moments to reflect. They're able to kind of understand from their experiences how it relates to another woman's experience. I was like, I like this idea. So all of those ideas, all of those experiences that I had came together, and I was like, oh, from what that woman said, from what the young people said, this is how I'm going to put this into a journal. And then during lockdown, I think I started creating stuff on Instagram, just sharing, raising awareness of domestic abuse and how to spot the signs, red flags. And then I was just like, I want to give people more information, but I can't use it via social media. So the journal just came ahead and said, no, this is what you need to do, Tina. You're going to give people all of the information that you've been provided in a simple way, digestible, self-reflective. You're not telling them a story. You're helping them understand things from a different perspective and helping them really recognize signs and issues of domestic abuse within their own lives. So yeah, that's how it came about. So every idea came about, I parked it, but then eventually it all came together, and I was like, this is what I want to create.
Yeah, because for me, when I think of, and let's say I'm thinking of a journal, I just think of a book with no pages, where I get to write my own experiences and whatever my daily stresses are. But I really like the concept of how you approached it. So it's activities that I could do, it's reflections, and it's places as well that I could write down these reflections, and as I process, I may get a light bulb moment. So I think that's really great. Yeah, because not everybody likes to read, and I used to like to read. I think as I'm getting older, I'm like, okay, how many pages is this? Let's get to the good part now. Exactly. Yeah. But for this journal, I would say it sounds like it is important for people to actually walk through the stages to their recovery.
Definitely. So it's helping people identify. So for those who may have not experienced this, I don't even term it domestic abuse. I just talk about unhealthy relationships. Because we can have unhealthy relationships, with friends, with family members. So it makes them look at it from a more holistic approach. But helping them even cover issues of their self-esteem, their confidence, and how also that can affect the relationships that we get involved in. So it's very self-reflective, making them recognize things from their standpoint, how they observe the world, to be able to identify, to be able to then challenge it. If there's someone in their family or friends maybe going through something, how do you react to that situation without trying to drag them out of the relationship, which is unhealthy? But also for those who may have experienced it, also giving tips and resources on how they can heal from it. So it covers readers from different perspectives. So at least it's educating, empowering, but also signposting you to services that you can also contact if you require further information. But hopefully it's just a light bulb. It's giving you some ideas, and then you will develop your knowledge in being able to understand things from different perspectives.
Yeah. And I also imagine that this could be a good complement to someone who's going through psychotherapy. So they are working through things and they may need, another outlet for them to write it down, not only verbally, but when they're away from the therapist, when they're at their home in that own private space, they could continue to, unleash and unpack a lot of the things that they're processing.
Definitely.
So I am excited for you, Tina. I think this is going to be really big.
Thank you.
Yes. So can you walk us through the journey of the actual publishing of this journal? So you have the content together, okay, this is what I want to put in this journal. What was the next step?
So yeah, I did a brain dump of everything that was in my mind about what I wanted from the journal, all of the resources that I had created. So I just put all of that on a Word document, but then I got a simple notepad and I created what chapters I wanted to cover, what topics. So the chapters say self-esteem and confidence, healthy relationships, also aspirations and dreams. And then every day for the next 6 months, not every day, sometimes I will be lazy, to be honest, but for the next 6 months, any ideas that came up, sometimes I'll watch something, a quote will come up, or, we'll have a conversation about something and about, oh, this is useful, this will be really good for this chapter. So once I set myself that for the next 6 months, I'm going to be working on it, it wasn't the case where I'm on my laptop all day and typing, because sometimes our creative juices just doesn't flow. And I think when you do it like that, it kind of puts you under pressure, and then you feel like you're not good enough and maybe I shouldn't do it. So literally just take some time using a notepad. Yeah, every day you might find inspiration, but at least you know what chapters it can go in. So you just note it down and then bringing it back together, adding it onto your Word document. And then again, so continuously doing that was very helpful. And then also just finding other people that you need a partnership with to be able to create this. So thinking about your editor, finding an editor, finding an illustrator. So I have loads of colorful illustrations in the journal because that's what I wanted. But sometimes you just maybe just want the front page, the front cover, but you still need an illustrator. So researching who you want to work with. Also, someone who is going to format the book as well. So Fiverr was my best friend in terms of that. So just finding out who is able to format the book and able to upload it onto Amazon, which I'll be having it on Amazon next week, but not quite ready. I had to, yeah.
So that means, sorry, those in the US can go on and order. So we'll take all the information at the end. Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, and then also someone to print it as well. So a printing shop. So luckily I had friends in my circle who had created their own books and had all of this information at hand. So they referred me, go to this, literally around the corner from my house, luckily. So yeah, one of my friends gave me the details of a printing shop. Another one gave me information on who to format on Fiverr. Another one was my editor and the illustrator. So those are the 4 key people that you need to be able to put your book together. So it's your ideas and then working with these groups to be able to get it as a book, to have it printed. So,
sorry, can you say that one more time? The 4 key people you need.
The 4 key people you need is an illustrator, a formatter, which I found on Fiverr, a printing shop, and an editor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Key 4. Okay.
Key 4 people that you need. So Fiverr has all of this information. Fiverr's great. But luckily, as I said, I had loads of friends in my circle who had published a book before. So they either referred me or assisted me directly. But yeah, once you have a printing shop, you have an editor, you have a formatter, and you have an illustrator. Those are the 4 key components to help your book be published and be out there.
Okay, so what you're saying, it sounds to me like I do not need to have a whole lot of money to get this done. I could do this on a budget.
You could do this on a budget. You definitely could do it on a budget. Finding a good editor is really important. So depending on their prices, but seeing their previous work, but just looking at their reviews as well. Also, depending on how many books you want to print out initially, because I didn't have it on Amazon initially, I just printed them out directly myself because I had my launch and people can buy off my website as well. So I think I printed about 150 copies or 80, and that just cost me just under £200 to do so. And then I think the formatter's less than £50, or like 25, £30 it cost me. I think the illustrator was the most, but because my journal has a lot of illustrations, but she even did it for me a good price because she was really passionate about the topic. But most people who are writing a book or writing a general journal don't need that many illustrations. They might just want it in the front cover, back cover. So yeah, that definitely can cost you less than £100 or $100 if you're in America. So yeah, it doesn't need to be expensive, but you need to just do the main role in getting the information on the document and then work with others from there.
Yeah, and then look within your network. You may have a friend, as you said, who is a great writer. They could possibly, who knows, be your editor. Or someone else who's illustrating within your circle. So sometimes, when we want to do something, we have the idea, but we're like, I do not know how to do this. I'm confused. And then time goes by, 1 year, 2 years. But did we really look within our circle, or maybe our circle to find out who could possibly provide assistance? Because we all have our individual skills and talent. And, we do not always market it or tell other people I'm good at this. Tina is a great facilitator. Maybe I need someone to facilitate a group for me. Who can I find? Tina is right here. So I think, just having these conversations within our circles of what we can do to assist other people and, other business owners as well.
Yeah. And getting people to also read your draft to give you feedback, to add anything that, they think will be beneficial. So I had people of various ages. So my journal kind of caters for young as 14 years old through to adults. So I had young people read it, I had adults read it, I had those who experienced domestic abuse, those who hadn't been in an abusive relationship, so I can just understand things from different perspectives. So yeah, when it got to the ends of it, the feedback, I was like, okay, it doesn't just deal with those who are healing, but also helping people identify, to challenge and to heal. So I covered those wide range of topics. So yeah, definitely getting people to read your drafts, at least 5 to 6 people, getting different perspectives, was really useful before I then got the editor to go through it. The editor, I'm sure they went through it like at least 4, 5 times, so I was completely happy. Yeah. So yeah, it may take time, but it's possible to be done.
Yeah, it's worth it, I think.
Exactly. So long as you get your information out there, you make sure you just brained up everything that you've identified that you definitely want to put in there. Just have a notepad and just take it everywhere with you. You get inspiration in the most random places. Maybe watch a film, having a conversation. I hear quotes in the film. Oh, I love that. I'm going to put that at the end. Because every page has an affirmation in the journal as well. So anytime I used to hear something that really resonated with me or made me feel good, I'm like, all right, I'm definitely putting that in.
Yeah. So, wow. That's a great journey. It took you a little while to get to where you are, but I think, sometimes every piece happened for a reason. It may be delayed for a reason. You maybe got even better content now than you would have gotten, right a month or 2 after you got the idea. So it had to be developed, I would say.
Yeah, I think at the right time, definitely, because it wasn't even my intention to create an Instagram page to sell the journal, because I was just wanted, it was locked down. I was just like, I have so much information here. I want to raise awareness. What can I do? So I just started creating content to raise awareness. And so I kind of created a community without realizing. So the fact that I was giving so much valuable free information when I launched my journal, literally, I think most of my customers have been my Instagram followers because they've been following me for so long, realizing that I've given so much information for free. The journal will also be beneficial to them. So yeah, I think at the right time it did happen, because maybe if I did it 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been known in terms of raising awareness. So definitely appointed at the right time.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. So you speak of having an Instagram page, so you had a community. So that was like one of your marketing outlets. So how else have you gotten the word out about your journal?
So I luckily work in a lot of schools, delivering training workshops. So raising awareness about what I do, but also letting teachers know that I also have a resource. So I've been utilizing that. Even just contacting like my old managers, old workplaces, that has been a point of contact. Haven't gotten Amazon yet. Next week it will be up, so that will also be an opportunity for me to market. But I think through my network has been the most, even like my previous clients as well, they have got information about my journal as well. So I haven't been fantastic in my marketing. I do need to do better, but because I think it's been quite easy for me because of everyone
The
who
work
knows
that you
me already.
do.
Yeah. So I'm in there already. But yeah, I definitely want to do a nationwide tour. So I'm delivering workshops around some of the issues that we discuss in the journal, so that we can really unpack them. So yeah, that's the plan when I get back in September.
Yeah, I agree. And I think also possibly partnering with others who may be doing this similar work as you, because you may have something that's unique to your work, somebody else may have something, and then when someone who has experienced trauma or been in a terrible relationship get that combination, they're like, wow, like, where has this been all of my life? Like, I've been searching. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for you to grow with, the journal and promote it further. So we definitely wish you luck in that. And I personally am looking forward to it being on Amazon as well.
Straight delivery to America.
Yes. Looking forward to that. So what advice would you give someone who is interested in publishing a journal and they have the idea and they're like, what next?
I'll say don't delay. You can do it. It's possible. If you have the idea, God will also give you the resources to be able to complete it. So just set yourself a deadline. So just say, I think sometimes we have great ideas, but because we haven't set ourselves a deadline, it just drags on. So give yourself a little pressure, but not too much pressure. So not saying, all right, by next month, I need to complete it, because reality is life happens. Life can be stressful, things pop up. So if I said in the next 6 months, I want to see the first draft of my journal. So it may be days where you're completely working on it. Other times you may be more laid back, but when the deadline is coming up, you're going to put all of your energy and effort because you need to complete it. So just set yourself a deadline. Also, yeah, as I said, give yourself opportunities to be able to develop it on a day-to-day basis. Have just a general notepad whilst you're out there, just anything that inspires you, just note it down. And then, when you come back to the laptop, because sometimes sitting down on the laptop, just working can drain you. And it's not ideal. So I would never say just, work on it every day, typing. No, just take your journal, write some notes down, maybe once a month, everything that you've collected in the last month, then you put it in. But make sure you have your chapters in place as well. So that just gives you the inspiration. So that's the first thing you should be working on. Once you know what content you want, what topics you're going to explore, it makes it easier for you to be able to then develop that, get ideas for you to be able to fulfill those gaps. So take time, but set a deadline. Be strict. I'll say maybe, for my birthday, I want to publish my journal, or for Valentine's Day, I want to publish a journal. When you have a deadline in place, it helps you and gives you the motivation to continue.
Yes. And also probably having some, what do you call it? Accountability partners. Someone who could be like, hey, Tina, did you do this?
My accountability.
And then you're trying to avoid them, see them falling, and then you're like,
They were stressful every day. Tina, you finished? How's it going? I'm like, especially the people that I sent the drafts out to, they were like, okay, well, didn't give you that much feedbacks for you to amend. So why you so long? I'm like, okay, leave me. I'm waiting for this, I'm waiting for that. Especially my illustrator. Like, once I gave her the idea, the concept, she gave me a form to like, what images did I want? What things should she avoid? And then she sent me something. I was like, wow, like you literally got my ideas visually. But then she was like, all right, so what are we doing? Why take so long? And I'm like, okay, give me some time. I'm still thinking, so yeah. Even just now, I would say start finding your illustrator, start finding your formatter, start finding your editor, your printing shop, because those are the things that worry us, because we're like, okay, I've got the ideas, but how do I then get to that next stage? So start with that. If you have all of that at hand, there's no excuse. Then like the ball is in your court. You're the only one that's delaying yourself. So start by researching who you're going to be partnering with to get this all set out, and then just focus on what you need to do. But don't also pressure yourself. Don't be on a laptop all day trying to type. It just doesn't work. You get inspiration everywhere. So
that is true. I agree. I completely agree. And for someone who may not have had like an audience, like on Instagram, like you had, what would you recommend as a starting point for them marketing their journal? You're completely brand new.
Yeah, well then start now. Like as I said, I wasn't into marketing and branding. I've just done life. So looking back now, it was a good idea for me to have done. So if I would go back, I will make sure like I was maybe consistent. I think I was consistent during lockdown, and when they allowed us to go back out, I kind of stepped away. So if you haven't got a community now, or just start creating content around what you want to publish in your journal, just sharing information so people would be interested in once you have your product. It's like you're giving that value, you're giving that information, so they will appreciate it once you have something, resourceful that they can hold in their hands. So maybe make that be your starting point, to create content around what your interests are, so that when your journal or your book comes out, they know what it's about. Even if it's like a biography about yourself, start sharing more about your life experiences, because everybody relates to everybody. Like, people buy into people. You'd be surprised that something that you've encountered, there are people out there who's also experienced it, and they're looking for an outlet to communicate, to share their experiences, to build that support network. So don't be surprised that information that you hold and you may feel is irrelevant, someone else is out there like, I needed this all my life. So start building that community wherever it suits you. I'm not fantastic with social media, but I just use one. So Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I don't really use it. Facebook, don't really use it. So just find one that you think you can connect with people, you can create content around. If you like doing videos, which I don't often like doing. So just find your source and utilize that and be consistent with that. And that helps you build your community. So then when you do have your thing, people buy into it.
Yeah. And social media is free. So if you
have
never been on social media and this is the time for you to try, it's not going to cost you anything, maybe a few hours or even an hour a week to create a few posts. Could be just regular social media posts or videos, whatever is your preference.
And it helps you recognize, so you're going to have a wide range of topics, but it helps you recognize what people are mostly interested in. So I would just format, okay, I'm going to write a journal about so-and-so. This is the content, this is the topic. So now I'm going to create content around my social media around this. And the ones that you get more engagement with, the more you get interaction, then okay, this is something that I really need to invest in. This is something that I really need to elaborate on. So there really is an opportunity for you to do like market research using social media.
Yes.
So definitely utilize it. So like, even with me, I noticed that like maybe when I quote affirmations, even though I'm often talking about raising awareness of domestic abuse, sometimes when I just post general affirmations, people like motivation for Monday. I'm like, okay, people really love affirmations, so let me put an affirmation at the end of each page of my journal. So that was my kind of inspiration. So utilize your social media pages to research and build an audience, so that when you have your product, they will buy into it.
And everything you said today sounds completely doable. It doesn't sound like it's up here and somebody's going to be like, I want to, but it seems out of my reach. I think it's all very achievable. You have an idea, start writing down the information, look for the 4 P's pillars that Tina mentioned, and start developing content around your whatever platform it is that you select.
Look within your inner circle. So the first point you could do is on your WhatsApp status, say, does anyone know any illustrator, any formatters, any printing shops? That would be your first point of contact. So someone knows somebody, at least they're there, find out their charges. So even if you think money is the issue, if you find out their charges now, okay, the next 6 months I need to work towards my budget so I can pay them so they can help me. But just don't stop doing things just because you're overwhelmed. Information is out there. Everyone has their skill. Like, you can try and do everything yourself, but everyone has their talent. Everybody has their gifts. Do what you do best. Let someone else do what they do best. And then said Fiverr is fantastic as well. So resources are there for you to be utilized.
And I will also add, I think finally, is that don't let money be a barrier. You take the step. Like, faith is the substance of things hoped for. So if you have an idea, you feel that, if you're a believer, you believe in God, whatever you believe in, you believe that, okay, this has been put in my spirit for a reason. Just do it. Take that first step. You never know when that next resource will come to fruition. So just do it. As Nike says, just do it.
And you can pre-order as well. So if you have issues with money, which hopefully wouldn't be the issue, just set up pre-orders. The money that people pay for your journal your books, then you utilize that to then print out the books. There's always ways. That don't ever feel like it's the end of the road. I don't have the money right now. Just do pre-orders. That allows you to get the money before you're able to publish a book. Then you send it through. So.
Okay, so there are so many tricks of the trade that you could learn and do it so that you get your journal or your book or whatever it is published. Yes. So as we wrap up, so any final words for the audience today, Tina?
I would just say, the process of creating a journal, a book, anything takes a lot of commitment. So it's making sure that you're passionate about it. So don't just do something because it's on trend now, or, it's an idea that came to you, but your heart's not really in it, because it can be draining. So you need to make sure, why am I doing this? And for me, that was my inspiration. It wasn't about me. It was making sure I wanted to impact. I wanted to save lives. I wanted to protect. I wanted to safeguard lives. So even moments when I lost my motivation, I had to reflect back and be like, why did you want to do this in the first place? So always going back to your why, creating your why. Why do you need to share your story? Why do you need to share your journal? What are the topics that you're exploring that the world needs to hear? And then that will be your motivation to continue. So just don't do something for the sake of it because it's on trend or whatever.
Yeah.
Make sure you're passionate about it, because that will drive you to continue.
Yes. And can you tell us where we could go and get your book, your journal, and if you want to share your social media handle or any other information, if someone would like to get in touch with you?
Okay, so currently my journal's on my website, www.tina, Tina Pokuaah, Pokuaah.com. Sorry, I have such a long surname. It's going to be available on Amazon next week. It's because of my illustrations and formatting is just taking a long way, but I'm at the final stages now. So hopefully it will be approved and be on Amazon next week. So do look out for that. You can find me on Instagram _teach me how to be happy. So simply _teach me how to be happy. I'm also on TikTok _teach me how to be happy as well. But most of my Instagram pages where I share my content, raise awareness, and to give information on support services that you can also contact. So yeah, teach me how to be happy will be available on Amazon next week. If not, my website is www.tinapokuaah.com, and Instagram, I will update you as well.
Yes, so thank you so very much, Tina. And you out there who are listening and watching, please go out and grab Tina's journal on Amazon as soon as it's on. I promise that I will also go on and get my copy, so it will be shipped over to me. So I look forward to receiving that. Thank you again. We appreciate you, and best of luck in your continued journey.
Thank you.
Thank you.